Okay, guys, today or right now we're going to talk about solving another type of one-step equation, and it is solving equations using multiplication and division. And so this could go pretty simple. You should already know this. Remember that solve means get the variable by itself. And so the idea is I need to do whatever I need to do so the x or the variable or whatever can be isolated or by itself on whichever side of the equal sign it's on. So you got a couple of things here. Yesterday or the last set of notes we wanted the number that was with the variable to be 0. Today we want the variable to be 1. And we're going to make that 1 by using division. And so what I put up here is a simple way to kind of remember it. This is a good reference. Whenever your problem looks like this, I don't care what the variable is, you have a 3x or 3y or it doesn't matter. What you want to do is divide by that exact number to both sides of the equation. So for example, that means multiply, and the only way to make 1 from multiplication is divide by that same number. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, or negative 6 divided by negative 6. So in that case, just divide if you see something like this, by this number or that number. Those are called coefficients. Whenever you have a fraction in a variable, now it could also be 2x over 3, same thing. If you have something like that, you want to multiply by the reciprocal to both sides of the equation. 2/3 times 3 over 2 is 6 over 6, which makes that equal 1. Anything divided by itself becomes 1. So whenever you have a problem like this, what you want to do is multiply by the reciprocal. Now, this means division. X divided by 2 or x over 2. Whenever you see division, you're going to multiply by the denominator to both sides. 2 is really 1/2. This is really 1/2 x. So if I do 1/2 times 2, that actually equals 1. What you're going to find out is that whenever you see multiplication, you're going to divide. Whenever you see division, you're going to multiply. And if you ever see a fraction like this, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So let's actually take some time and work a couple of examples. Okay, so this first example, here we have -4 equals k over 5. And if I use my examples that I had up here, this particular problem looks just like this right here, which tells me to multiply by the denominator. So the denominator here is -5. So I'm going to multiply both sides of this equation by -5. A dot or parentheses means multiply. So if I say times -5, now let's look at what happens. Those two cancel out, and all I have left over is k. Now what's -5 times -4? That's 20. And you can check that by saying 20 over -5 equals -4, which is a true statement. Simple. Now, it keeps getting light and dark, so just got to roll with it. Now, this particular problem, number 2, says 7x equals 56. That really means 7 times x. And so when you multiply, automatically you divide. But which number do you divide by? It's the number that you need to get rid of. So I divide both sides by 7, which equals 8. And if I put that back in, 7 times 8 equals 56. Now this particular problem looks like this right here. If you have a number right next to a variable, you divide by that exact number. Now, over here on number 3, we have another situation with a variable on top of a number, which means division. Whenever we see division, we're going to multiply. Last time I used the dot, this time I use parentheses. It still means multiply. So if I multiply this by 3 to both sides, I hope I ain't wrong, but I believe that's 4.5. If I'm wrong, it's your fault, and I'm blaming it on you because I'm the teacher and I'm always right. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I'm the teacher and I'm always right. And I am again, because I am the teacher. Told you. All right, now, in this problem, a lot of people would like to say number 4 is already done. But it is not. You have to divide by -1 to both sides. And when you divide both sides by -1, you get x equals -6. Now you say, well, where did -1 come from? Well, there's always a number in front of every variable. And if you don't see a number, that means that number is 1. So really, that's -1x there. Now, another way you could have did that is just multiply both sides by -6. Or some people just start at the problem and go straight to here. And that's fine, too. Finally, we have number 5. Number 5 is just like number 2 up here. It says whenever you have a fraction, something like this, you can multiply by the reciprocal, which means flip the numerator and the denominator. I want to show you, though, that this is the same thing. This problem here that I'm writing is the same exact thing, so the v could be out and to the side or on top. Now, what you want to do is multiply by the reciprocal, not with the v, just of the numbers, the coefficients there. So the reciprocal is 9/5, and I multiply by 9/5 to both sides. Now, what happens here is you get 45v over 45, which that cancels out. And so you really only have v left. And so you don't really have to show that, but I'm just showing you why you can just cross those out, because it's just going to be a number divided by itself. Now, this is going to equal 63. You can put that in your calculator, 35 times 9/5, or 9/5. The way I do that, just very simply, is I take the denominator, divide it into this whole number. 5 goes into 35 7 times. 7 times 9 is 63. Got it? Okay then. If you don't get it, your fault. Just kidding. Good luck.